Tony, good morning. I want to start on Saturday with college football. There's been a lot of discussion on whether this game between Clemson and Notre Dame might have had a different result if it was quarterback Trevor Lawrence instead of Coach Lawrence hanging out with Uiagalelei. What do you make of that? Trev plays, would the result be different?
No, I don't think that was really the issue. You know, Clemson could have done a few different things, maybe a couple of more things with Trevor Lawrence, but DJ Uiagalelei played great football. And the problem for Clemson was on the other side. They were missing three starters in their defensive front seven that really hurt them. And then both of their safeties went out as the game went on. So they were missing five guys, and they really had no answers for that Notre Dame offense. But it was, you know, we talked about it before the game with each coach, and they both said, we've got to exert our will. Notre Dame, it was pressure defense and pounding running game. And for Clemson, it was the quick strike, make it fast-paced, and it just went back and forth. It was like a heavyweight fight, and it was great to be there.
What's happening, Coach TD?
Hey, Keyshawn, great to be with you guys, always.
Thank you, man. How likely is it that these two teams will see each other in the college football playoffs in your mind?
Well, that's going to be interesting because I think they're going to see each other in the ACC championship game. Now, what happens? Trevor Lawrence comes back and Clemson wins. Okay, and now you've got, if that happens and you've got both teams with one loss, they played each other twice, I think they'll be two of the best four teams in the country, but will voters say, I really don't want to see them play a third time? I think that could be the narrative. So I think it's going to really behoove Notre Dame to win that game if they match up again in the ACC championship game.
Coach, obviously after the game was won, all the Notre Dame fans, you know, crowded the field. Should Notre Dame be punished for that? Should there be some kind of fine? What are your thoughts on that?
You know, it's so hard, Jay. We were sitting there, and you could just feel the emotion. And you got young 18, 19, 20-year-old students, and it's hard to corral that. So could Notre Dame have had more security there? To me, it was just a natural emotional response. I don't think people were thinking clearly. Obviously, after the fact, they would think, oh, gosh, this might not be the right thing to do. But there was a lot of emotion in that stadium, and I just don't know how you control that.
The great coach, Tony Dungy, joining us here on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin. Coach, last night, obviously, the Bucs, our team, got taken to the woodshed last night by the New Orleans Saints. What did you make of that outing?
I was shocked, actually, Keyshawn. I thought it was going to be a great game. I picked the Bucs. I knew that Drew Brees would play well. They were getting Michael Thomas back. They were getting Emmanuel Sanders back. They had some weaponry now, and I knew they'd score points and play well on offense. I thought Tampa would match them on offense. But Rodney Harrison, I've been with Rodney 12 years in the studio, and he has told me time and time again, the way you have to play Tom Brady, you have to be able to get pressure in his face with four guys, and you have to have guys who can play tight man coverage. And that is what happened last night. They got the pressure early. Cam Jordan started off on the first rush of the game. Malcolm Jenkins played Gronk tough and tight the whole game, took away those quick, easy throws, and they really did what you have to do to play against Tom Brady. You guys mentioned, well, he didn't look great against Chicago. They had the same kind of formula, a pass rush that can get there, not having to blitz. Not everybody has that, but New Orleans had the perfect plan. And I thought Dennis Allen on defense for New Orleans and Sean Payton on offense, they both called great games.
TD, should we be concerned about the Bucs potentially not making the playoffs?
No, I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think now this is going to put them in a wild card situation where they're going to have to go on the road 3 times if they want to get to the Super Bowl. And you're going to play some defenses on the road that can rush the passer and can create havoc. So this obviously makes it a little tougher. New Orleans now, on the other hand, they put themselves in position to maybe get the bye, maybe be off the first week, play all their games at home. And to me, this game really did a lot to shift the balance of power in the NFC.
Coach, even though when you look at the schedule of some of the teams that the Bucs are going to face coming up, like the Panthers, obviously, they had Kansas City get out of KC with a W. But then they have, you know, they got Minnesota coming down the pipelines, playing a lot better than your old assistant coach and Raheem Morris turning the Atlanta Falcons around. They got them coming down the pipeline. Do you think, though, it's you shouldn't be worried at all that the possible missing of the playoffs?
No, they're going to make it. When you look at where this NFC is, there are no perfect teams, so everybody's going to be in the same boat. Yeah, they're going to have to deal with Kansas City. That's going to be a tough game for Tampa with Mahomes, and Kansas City has guys who can rush the passer. So it'll be tight. They'll lose a couple of more games in there, but I still see them being a team that'll be 10-6, 11-5, and that'll make it.
Let me ask you this before I let you get out of here, and I know what the answer is probably going to be. It's been 12 years. But at all, what will it take to get you back on the sidelines, man? What will it take? I know it's been 12 years, but what will it take? Because you can't tell me you don't have the itch.
Well, I sit there and I watch games, and I think that Notre Dame game, I'm going back and forth. And what would I do here? What would I call? And it is exciting to be out there. But I'll tell you, honestly, Keyshawn and Jay, I want to see these young African-American coaches get opportunities. I would rather see Eric Bieniemy and Pep Hamilton and guys like that coach, because that's the future. That's who we need to get going in these head coaching positions.
No question about that, because you laid the foundation down, obviously, from the late Denny Green, then obviously to you and Lovie Smith and Mike Tomlin. You kind of laid the foundation, but maybe you getting back in it will allow you to also hire some of these young coaches to be the coordinators to give opportunities. I'm just saying.
He's trying to get you to think, TD.
Well,
He's trying to get you to think now.
That might be what it takes to get me back in it. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
All right, because, it'll be a few jobs that I think you would be good at that's going to open up around these airwaves real soon.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.